My jealous sister-in-law tried to poison me at my husband's party after our pregnancy announcement. It backfired, and now she's facing jail and a divorce. You know how some families have that one person? The one who just oozes negativity, who thrives on drama, who just seems determined to make everyone else miserable. For us, that person was my husband's sister, Kayla. And I'm telling you, the things she did, the lines she crossed, it was beyond anything I could have ever imagined, culminating in a betrayal so chilling, it almost cost someone their life. From the moment I met Harry, 7 years ago, I fell head over heels. Everything was perfect, except for one huge, glaring, toxic problem, his sister, Kayla. Now, don't get me wrong, I wanted to like her. At first, I really did. But it didn't take long for the cracks to show. She wasn't just negative, she was manipulative, constantly stirring the pot, a black hole of toxicity. Harry actually had this wild backstory with her. When he was just 17, Kayla pressured him into dating her best friend. Can you believe that? And when he finally broke it off, years later, she tried to set him up with another friend, throwing a massive tantrum, crying to their parents because she wanted him to marry someone she approved of. His parents thankfully ignored her, but it definitely set the stage for how she'd treat me. So, when Harry and I fell in love, her reaction was exactly what you'd expect. A cold shoulder, constant passive aggression. She'd always bring up Harry's exes, out of nowhere, talking about how well they were doing, subtly hinting he should get back with them. Harry found it just as weird as I did, always telling her to stop. But then she'd just pivot, taunting me, calling me insecure, saying I wasn't good enough for him. It was a constant game. And it wasn't just dinner table jabs. If his parents invited us over, Kayla would conveniently run into one of his exes that day and have to invite them too. Out of politeness, of course. Then there was the Instagram stalking. My account's public, so I'd see her name pop up on my stories first, always. And if a guy commented on my photo? Oh, you better believe she'd run straight to Harry, complaining about my inappropriate pictures. Honestly, Harry and I just laughed it off, but it was still exhausting. When we decided to move in together, she tried to convince Harry to break up with me, saying I had too many flaws as a woman and he could do so much better. That one stung, really. I'd been nothing but kind to her. Things only got worse when we got engaged. When we announced it, surrounded by cheering family and friends, Kayla just sat there, silent. Then, to everyone's shock, she just got up and walked out. Later, she called Harry, screaming about how she deserved to know first because they were so close. Then she sent me a message, practically a threat, saying I'd better be a good wife because she'd always been the only woman in his life. I swear, I cringed. I left her on read, which probably just fueled her fire. She then just ignored me. But she still insisted on being involved in wedding stuff, like dress shopping and my bridal shower. But it wasn't to help. It was to tear everything down. She openly trashed all my choices, the venue, the flowers, the catering, even when my future mother-in-law and Harry told her off multiple times. The final straw came during a centerpiece discussion. Kayla overheard, and immediately started mocking me, saying my choice had no class and this was exactly why Harry should have married someone better. That was it. I snapped. I screamed at her, told her I couldn't take her constant criticism anymore, and that she was officially uninvited to our wedding. She gasped, utterly shocked, like she never thought I'd stand up to her. Even my mother-in-law, who's usually so composed, was furious and completely backed me up. Kayla went crying to Harry, telling him to control his wife. But Harry, bless his heart, firmly told her he stood by my decision and she wouldn't be at the wedding unless she apologized. She sent a heartfelt apology, which I, again, left on read. I was exhausted, prepping for a wedding, I just couldn't deal with her drama. In the end, she did show up. I didn't want her bad-mouthing us forever. Our wedding had this beautiful theme of pinks and pastels. Everyone followed it. And then there was Kayla. Striding in, wearing a floor-length black gown with a veil, like she was attending a funeral. We were all stunned. She then proceeded to tell everyone how she was mourning the loss of her brother to another woman. My husband, seeing my humiliation, confronted her. She played the victim, said she had the right to wear what she wanted, called me controlling. Eventually, my in-laws had to ask her to leave because she wouldn't stop making a scene. It was utterly humiliating. After Nate, our son, was born, I made it clear Kayla wasn't allowed near him. She tried to fight it, but Harry and his parents had my back. They understood. They respected my decision. Then, 2 years later, Kayla had a miscarriage. It broke her. And honestly, it broke our hearts too. Harry and I, already blessed with Nate, felt a softening. We decided to be more forgiving, invited her over, hoping she could bond with Nate. And for a while, she was surprisingly sweet with Nate. I almost believed she'd changed. But slowly, she reverted. It was always about her tough life, always blaming ex-bosses, ex-friends. She never admitted fault, always played the victim. Never, ever wrong in her own head. This year, Kayla got married. And guess what? She invited everyone but us. Harry was shocked, we thought things were better. When we confronted her, she actually said she couldn't have me there because I'd upstage her. I called her out, asked why she'd think that. And that's when she admitted it. She said she knowingly wore black to our wedding, so she was afraid I'd do the same to her. I was furious at her manipulative admission. Harry, fed up, talked to his parents. They decided, no payment for her wedding, no attendance. Kayla broke down, blaming me for the fiasco. Harry told her she had just admitted her own mistake, so she had no right to point fingers. She just said our wedding was a long time ago and I should get over it. But with her parents still refusing to pay, she came crawling back, apologizing to me, begging for forgiveness. And honestly, when Kayla wants something, she can be incredibly sweet and persuasive. I forgave her. I just wanted to move on. Her wedding to Jamie went well, we all attended, had a good time. 6 months later, she was on our doorstep, complaining her marriage was falling apart. They were having fertility issues, and she was blaming Jamie for everything. She stayed with us for days, endlessly venting, ignoring anything I tried to say. And when she wasn't complaining about Jamie, she was hyper-focused on our lives, making things up. Like, I usually go to the gym before work and sometimes take my work clothes to change there. She'd seen me, and for days she badgered me, why do you need to shower there? Why even go to the gym? I just told her I like staying fit, didn't want to go to work sweaty. She'd just purse her lips and nod. Eventually, things calmed down with Jamie, and she moved back in with him. Then came the weekend. Harry and I went to lunch with my in-laws, Mill and Phil. Kayla and Jamie were there too. Nate was with a babysitter. Mill was telling us about a friend whose husband cheated. And suddenly, Kayla interrupts, turns to Harry, and asks if we signed a prenup. We all just stopped eating. Harry, who never minces words, said no, we both earned well, no need. Kayla snorted, saying there are a lot of cheaters around, and Harry could be blindsided any day. I was offended. What exactly are you insinuating, Kayla? I asked. And then she dropped the bomb, well, she's always carrying a change of clothes everywhere, so she's definitely meeting up with someone. As your sister, Harry, it's my duty to warn you. I was stunned. Mill and Phil immediately jumped in, telling her to stop making things up, to mind her own business. But Kayla, without missing a beat, went even further. I'm just looking out for my brother, she sneered, and besides, are we even sure Nate is really Harry's son? He doesn't exactly look like him. I swear, I watched Harry's face go scarlet. I'd never seen him so angry. He looked Kayla dead in the eye and said, "This is why you're not a mother yet. You don't deserve to be one. Your child was better off in heaven than with someone like you." Kayla's mouth fell open. Mill and Phil were silent, frozen in shock as Harry tore into her, calling her shameless, a loser, someone who only wanted to ruin things because her own life was a mess. Instead of pointing fingers at my wife, he raged, and asking about prenups, maybe you should worry about your own marriage. You're clearly projecting. Kayla was sobbing, looking to Jamie for support, but he just sat there, silent. She ran to the bathroom. Harry was still seething. Mill came to calm him. I rubbed his hand. He apologized for what his sister said about Nate, and I just nodded. I was glad he finally stood up for me so publicly. After he calmed down, he apologized to Jamie, but completely ignored Kayla. After that lunch, we went full no contact. Blocked her everywhere. Mill and Phil agreed she'd gone too far, seeing their usually calm son completely unhinged. It's been a year since we've spoken to her, and it's been blissfully smooth. Then, 2 months ago, a beautiful surprise, I found out I was pregnant again. We weren't even trying, but we felt so blessed. We decided to announce it on Harry's birthday party, which Mill and Phil were throwing for him, a big backyard bash with all our close family and friends. Kayla must have heard through the grapevine because she showed up. Harry and I were shocked. She hugged Harry, gushing about how much she missed him and how sorry she was for their last fight. Harry, ever the protector, took my hand and told her she should be apologizing to me. She turned to me, nodded, and said she'd been in therapy, realized how wrong she was. I didn't believe a word, but I just nodded, not wanting to make a scene. Mill and Phil came over, saying they had no idea she'd come, offering to kick her out, but Harry just wanted to let it go. Throughout the party, she was oddly positive. Laughing, mingling. It was so out of character. But she mentioned therapy, so I gave her the benefit of the doubt. When it was time for cake, Harry gave this heartwarming speech about being the luckiest guy, about me. I was blushing. We were still so in love. Then, with big smiles, we made our announcement we were expecting. Everyone gasped, then cheered. My mom cried, Mill and Phil had tears in their eyes. Everyone was so happy, asking about names. The only one who stuck out? Kayla. She stared, stunned. Then her expression twisted, and she just walked away, looking furious. I was a little worried she'd ruin this celebration too, but then I got distracted by other guests. When lunch was served, I went to help my in-laws, but they, and my parents, insisted I sit, saying I shouldn't lift a finger. So I waited. And then Kayla came up to me, beaming. Holding a plate of food. She loudly announced she personally wanted to serve me, she was so happy about my pregnancy. She even said she wanted to make up for all the past rudeness. I graciously accepted. She walked away. As I was about to dig in, I saw it, shrimp. On my plate. It's a well-known fact to everyone in my family, especially Kayla, that I'm highly allergic to shrimp. I shook my head, so disappointed, and got up to get my own food. Just then, Jamie came over to congratulate me. He asked why I wasn't eating. I pointed out the shrimp, assuming it was a mistake. Jamie, being kind, said, "Don't worry, I'll take it. I love shrimp." And he walked off with my plate. Not even 5 minutes later, Jamie started to vomit and retch. Everyone stopped, watching him stumble, collapsing. Harry and Kayla rushed to him. Jamie pointed at his plate, then clutched his throat. Our eyes widened. Something was terribly wrong. He fainted. Someone called an ambulance. Kayla, crying uncontrollably, looked at the plate, then looked at me, rage in her eyes. "Did you give my husband that plate?" she screamed. I could only nod. At the hospital, we got the news, Jamie had been poisoned. I almost fainted. I knew, unlike everyone else, that plate was meant for me. Whatever poison Jamie ingested, it was intended for me and my baby. Harry, Mill, Phil, my parents, they had no idea. The police took the food. Jamie is still recovering, Kayla staying with him. We're fielding calls, pretending we don't know who did this. Mill and Phil are staying with us, too scared to be home. And here I am, secretly terrified to tell everyone the truth. If this turns into an investigation, I have to. I feel this crushing guilt for giving Jamie that plate. But more than that, I'm utterly terrified of Kayla. She tried to poison me. She has no inhibitions. My children can't be near her. The response to my post was overwhelming. My hands were shaking. I haven't slept. Everyone says it wasn't my fault, but I feel responsible. I should have just thrown the plate. Why did I let Jamie take it? I keep crying, terrified for him. Harry knows something's wrong, he's constantly checking on me, but he thinks it's just worry. He has no idea what I know about his sister. I agree, I have to talk to them. Mill and Phil have cameras around their house, especially the backyard. They'll have footage of Kayla serving me. Tonight, I tell them everything. We talked. And I am so grateful for my in-laws. Over dinner, I finally took that deep breath and spilled everything. The heavy silence, then their shock. Mill and Phil exchanged glances. Harry's face went from confusion to pure rage. I laid it all out: Kayla, the shrimp, my allergy, Jamie taking the plate, the poisoning. I admitted my fear, my hesitation, my concern for my baby. Mill, ever practical, immediately suggested the security cameras. Phil agreed. We reviewed the footage. And there it was. Crystal clear. Kayla, smiling, offering me the poison plate. The subsequent chaos. The evidence was undeniable. Harry struggled to contain his fury. My in-laws were appalled, seeing the true depth of their daughter's malice. We sat there, stunned, trying to comprehend why she would do something so evil. In the aftermath, my in-laws decided, the evidence goes to the police. This isn't a family squabble anymore, it's criminal. Phil and Harry will talk to Jamie once he recovers, to get him to press charges. I still cry, every time I think of Jamie. I'm not eating, not sleeping. I'm just so worried. Okay, so it's been a month, and I'm pregnant, so apologies for the delay. But here's the latest. My in-laws gave the recording to the police. And after seeing the evidence, Kayla was arrested. She didn't even deny it, she just broke down, crying, confessing everything. Harry spoke to Jamie. Jamie was, understandably, utterly shocked. Harry urged him to press charges, telling him it was a sinister act, and that he'd always be family, no matter what. Jamie, upon recovery, not only pressed charges but also filed for divorce. Good for him. Kayla called Mill and Phil, sobbing, begging them to bail her out, using her own pregnancy as a manipulation tactic, saying they should do it for their grandkid. But Phil, bless him, finally stood firm. He told her they were done coddling her. It was time for her to take responsibility. Mill is heartbroken, but she understands what Kayla did is unforgivable. The police found the rat poison, she clearly intended to harm me. She's been charged with multiple offenses. She's still begging Jamie not to charge her, claiming it was all my fault anyway. But Jamie, thankfully, isn't falling for it. Her court hearing is soon. I don't think she can escape this time. Nate is doing okay, oblivious to his aunt's madness. Harry and I know we'll have to explain it eventually, to teach him about these dark parts of life. I'm going for regular scans, staying strong for my baby. We're not finding out the gender, keeping it a surprise. My parents are incredibly protective, encouraging therapy. And they're right. I've developed this deep-seated fear of outside food, anything I haven't prepared myself. Harry understands, he's my rock. I hope I can overcome this. 8 months. That's how long it's been since my last update. And Kayla? She's serving time in prison. I never attended her court proceedings, but my in-laws did. She finally admitted it all. She confessed she'd been jealous for years, never wanting an outsider to marry Harry, always wanting one of her friends for him. When we announced our pregnancy at Harry's birthday, she was consumed by jealousy. She was pregnant too, had a miscarriage before, and felt we'd stolen her moment to shine. So, fueled by pregnancy hormones, she mixed a small amount of rat poison into my food. She claimed she only wanted me to end up in the hospital, not physically harm me or the baby. And she then tried to argue I poisoned Jamie by giving him the plate, so she deserved a lighter sentence. The judge, thankfully, saw through her pleas. She was sentenced. She'll be out of our lives for a long time. Jamie has successfully divorced her, finally free. We see him often, include him in everything. I've apologized profusely for giving him that plate, but he always reassures me it was never my fault. I still replay it, wishing I could change it, but hearing him say that, it means the world. I'm so glad he's doing okay. As for Harry and me, we welcomed our beautiful baby girl into the world. Despite the shadows, she's brought so much warmth and light into our lives. Nate is the most adoring big brother, showering his little sister with affection. Watching them together fills my heart. My parents and in-laws have been incredible. This journey has been wild, terrifying, but also a testament to the strength of love and family.